Did you know that the guy who made the software that runs the IRS might soon control your TikTok feed? Because I didn't until I looked into it. And what I found was honestly, terrifying. Meet Larry Ellison, billionaire founder of Oracle, plastic surgery enthusiast, Trump donor, and father of the guy who made Top Gun Maverick. The Ellisons are the most aggressively American family in existence right now, and they're quietly buying the algorithm that shaped Gen Z's brain chemistry. Welcome to Ellisonland. Population, you. America's new algorithm daddy. In 2025, the US government told ByteDance, the Chinese company that owns TikTok, sell the app or get banned. And who swoops in to save American TikTok? Not Microsoft, not Google, no, Oracle. If you're wondering, wait, Oracle? The database company my dad's office uses? Then yes, that one. You're correct. Oracle won the deal to host TikTok's US data back in 2020, under Trump's first TikTok panic moment. But this time, they're not just storing information, they're running the algorithm itself. According to Reuters and NPR, the new deal gives Oracle control over US algorithm and oversight of content recommendations. ByteDance will keep less than 20%. The board will have 7 directors, 6 of them American. Sounds patriotic, right? Yeah. The deal isn't about security, like they may tell you. It's about control. About propaganda, about who gets to shape what 170 million Americans see, think, and feel. Oracle, the boring company that runs the world. So, who are these freaks? Oracle is basically the IT guy of civilization. Their databases run hospitals, banks, tax systems, and a very uncomfortable number of government agencies. They build the back end of the internet, kind of. The quiet infrastructure that makes the digital world function. Larry Ellison started it in the 70s and kind of never really let it go. He's worth over $350 billion, and his company's biggest clients include the Department of Defense, Homeland Security, and, as always at the scene of the crime, the CIA. Meet the new media royals. First of all, it's giving Succession. Larry Ellison, the patriarch, old as shit, lives on his private Hawaiian island, races yachts, gets heaps of weird plastic surgery, and funds Trump's political machine. Then there's David Ellison, who I find very funny. His son. He's a Hollywood golden boy and CEO of Skynance Media, a name you may recognize from my other videos. This guy produces movies so American you could basically smell the kerosene. Top Gun Maverick, Mission Impossible, G.I. Joe. And again, scene of the crime, Tom Cruise jumping out of plane. Doesn't get more American than that. Together, father and son are building an empire that stretches from the cloud to the culture, from the data that tracks you to the stories that shape you. And then we've got Jeff Yass. Yass! TikTok investor and mega donor behind both libertarian PACs and pro-Israel groups. Scene of the crime again, libertarians. What is with those guys? No, seriously, someone tell me, what is with those guys? Mr. Yass helped bankroll organizations like the Center for Security Policy, which the Southern Poverty Law Center calls anti-Muslim conspiracy hubs. Oh, and guess what? The Murdochs are reportedly circling the TikTok deal too. So there's Fox News money in the mix as well. All the least evil people on earth.
It's complicated, but yeah, it seems that we are sometimes listening quite aggressively.
We are listening?
Yeah. But it's just to like maximize the user experience. But if that was to break, maybe...
Oh, fuck!
The algorithm state. When Oracle says it's taking over TikTok for security reasons, that doesn't just mean protecting data. It means running the code that decides which videos you see. That code, the recommendation system, is the most powerful propaganda machine ever invented. It decides what trends, what dies, which political takes go viral, and which ones quietly disappear. In other words, the narrative. And now, according to multiple outlets, that narrative will be audited, hosted, and turned on by Oracle's servers. You can see why this makes my skin crawl a bit, right? Because when a man kind of obsessed with surveillance gets to program the world's biggest dopamine slot machine, national security starts to look a lot more like, I don't know, national conditioning or propaganda or information suppression, all that awesome cool stuff that we love. Ellison's empire of screens. Ellison's reach doesn't stop at TikTok. His son's studio, Skydance, just merged with Paramount, giving the family influence over CBS News, Paramount Plus, and a massive film catalog, which I can only assume includes a lot of movies with Tom Cruise jumping off stuff or various explosions happening in the background or something. Man, movies. Larry himself has hinted at interest in CNN's parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery. As NPR put it, this would be historically unprecedented media consolidation, because now one family would touch broadcasts, streaming, and the social algorithm that decides what everyone talks about. How safety became the sales pitch for power. Every part of this story, from the Trump order to Oracle's surveillance philosophy to the patriotic movies, it's sold under one word: national security, data security, cultural security. But all of that is just a disguise, because what's really being built is an empire of control over data, over narrative, and eventually belief. Ellison doesn't need to be elected. He already owns the digital environment where elections are influenced. And he's not alone. This is the same decade where Elon Musk owns the global town square, Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, and Peter Thiel funds surveillance startups for governments he openly distrusts. They don't need to run countries. They just need to run the feeds. We're already living in Ellisonland. If you use TikTok, and statistically you probably do, you're watching the privatization of your attention span in real time. Your For You page isn't just a reflection of what you like. It's a simulation designed by people who want things from you: attention, votes, loyalty, and obedience. The shift from Chinese control to American oligarch control doesn't free the app. It just changes the flag on the server. They don't have to censor you to control you. They just have to quietly optimize you, make you angry at the right moments, distracted when it counts, comfortable enough to never log off. That's the business model of Ellisonland. Control disguised as safety, or a man disguised as a cartoon drawing of a man. Have you seen this guy? Larry Ellison once said he wanted to make the world smarter, and maybe he has, because every time I look at this deal, I can't help but think the only true smart thing he did was convince everyone he's just a database guy. So the next time you scroll TikTok and see a Top Gun edit about freedom, remember, it might have been approved by the same man who sells cloud servers to the Pentagon. I'm not saying delete the app, live your life, do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying, know whose story you're starring in. And if you want at least one corner of the internet that isn't owned by a billionaire named Larry, then you know what to do. Subscribe and stay out of Ellisonland. Yay! If you like this video and you're interested in this kind of stuff, I did a few about the Skydance Paramount deal when they were trying to fire everybody and take everybody off the air. I recommend you check those out. And if you like being mean to billionaires or just think they're freaky, check out my Peter Thiel one. Cannot with Peter Thiel. Cannot with Peter Thiel. Bye!